Probably not going great for UNC basketball fans, is it? They are, to use a quote from Denzel Washington, Remember the Titans, they are overcooking my grits. They're testing me. The UNC Tar Heels are testing my patience, my self-control. So much is being tested, and it's for this reason. I keep telling myself, you're not going to be worried about RJ Davis, are you? You can be worried about anybody else in college basketball. You can't be worried about the returning, defending Jerry West Award winner for the best shooting guard in the country, the returning, defending ACC Player of the Year, the returning, defending leading scorer in the Atlantic Coast Conference, somebody who, if he scored at the rate he scored a season ago, would leave the Tar Heels as the all-time leading scorer in the history of the program. Not on pace for it. Here's the issue. UNC lost to Alabama last night. It's not that in and of itself isn't a huge problem. Alabama is good. They're a top 10 team in the country, made it to the Final Four last year. Sears, their guard, is an All-American, and he got them going early with 11 quick points. They were doing the graphics on the broadcast where 11 points for Sears, 14 at the time for UNC as a team. That's not an issue, okay? The loss, it's not ideal. Did UNC want to win? Yes. Would it have been a massively beneficial win as far as removing questions if they won? Absolutely. But here's the issue. Here's the thing that's testing my patience. RJ Davis shot 1 for 11 from 3. That's enough to lose you a game. That's what is it, 9% from 3? That's enough to lose you a game. To continue shooting that way when you're just not making them is quite literally shooting your team out of a game. And it would be, if it's just a gigantic off day, everybody has them, shooters happen, or shooting slumps happen. If he had been shooting 38, 40, 42% from 3 on the year, came into a big game for whatever reason, the way the moons aligned, he went 1 for 11, it wouldn't even be something worth bringing up. But he's shooting, going into the game, 27.5% on over 7 attempts per game. So this wasn't as much of an outlier as it appears. And it's making me test my patience and self-control because I'm trying to say, RJ, it'll come out in the wash. He'll have a couple 7 of 8 from 3 days. He'll score 35, and the averages will all bounce back.
It'll all work out.
And I get it. He's that good. He's been that good. We've seen him be that good. But then you watch the game and you're going, if he takes another 3 here on this possession, Coach might have to take him out. He's 1 for 9 and doesn't look like he's hesitating to keep launching. Hubert Davis, the head coach, who didn't take him out, by the way, or they rode RJ Davis, whether it was good or bad throughout the game. Hubert Davis talked after the game about teams gearing up to stop their star guard.
Yes, teams are loading up on them. Comes off ball screens, they're trapping them. They're putting physical big guys on him. It's hard for him to get loose off of screens. We've got to set better screens. We've got to find a way to get him more open looks, and but that's an opportunity for others to step up as well. And so it's not the University of RJ, even though I love to have coached them. It's the University of North Carolina, and so we all got to step up.
It does extend beyond RJ Davis. That's the most glaring because he's the defending everything, right? He's the star. It's not just him. Elliot Cadeau had 1 point last night. Did not make a field goal. That ended a streak of 7 straight games to open the season in double figures for Elliot Cadeau. He went, teens, 15, 17, 10, 12, 1. Seth Trimble shot 4 of 13 overall and wasn't doing the things that I think makes him special. Seth Trimble is an athlete now. He can launch. you want to have like a theme song when you see him going down the lane because he's getting ready to two-hand or a 2-foot jump from a distance and try to yam on somebody. But last night, for whatever reason, jump, adjust, absorb some contact, extend the ball out horizontally, flip it off the glass. That's not what power. It's like seeing the fullback try to bounce it outside. I'm going like, no, straight ahead. Do what you do. Lower the shoulder. Between Cadeau, Trimble, and Davis, who, by the way, are the 3 most accomplished returnees. They were contributors last year for UNC. Those 3, Elliot Cadeau, Seth Trimble, and defending best shooting guard in the country, RJ Davis, they shot 11 of 41 from the field.
Bruh.
That is 26.8%. Which, again, if it were an outlier, if it were a one-off, bad days happen. But they're starting to build up some of those stats. And everyone else on the team on nearly as many shots. The big 3 that I mentioned, Cadeau, Trimble, and Davis, took 41 field goal attempts. Everybody else combined for 37. So that's within, a handful of each other. The rest of the team shot 56.7%. They made 21 of 37 attempts.
Pretty good.
I'm not going to pretend like I'm a genius, because I am not. But I can say if that group of people is making over 50% of their shots and that group of people is making less than 30% of their shots, I want the group of people making over 50% of their shots to have more of an opportunity. I want to give them more shots. And it's not permanent, but in the flow of a game, you have to see. There are other concerns. Their lack of size down low, it matters.
Oh, yeah.
And especially against a team like Alabama that does have size and can bully you a bit. And when those 3 guards do drive to the bucket, they are, the people amongst the trees. They appear much smaller when a team has multiple guys that can defend the rim on the opposite side. But while that matters, if your perimeter stars don't make shots, it doesn't matter if you have like Sean May, Hansborough, and Baycott rotating down low. If somebody's going 1 for 11 from 3, it's going to be tough to overcome. If your 3 main shot takers are shooting 25, roughly 26.8 exactly % from the field, that's the root of the issue. And it's then compounded by the fact you don't have the size to maybe rebound. Right? If you have guys taking shots, it's the old Kobe thing, right? I don't pass to Shaq, I miss shots, and he gets the rebound, right? That way we get 2 shots at it. Either I make it or he makes it on his attempt. It's if that were the case, if UNC were out rebounding everybody, sure, RJ Davis, keep shooting it. They'll be your rebounders. They'll be your ball return system. But without the size and with a lot of guards, a lot of athletes that want to get out and run, if you're missing long-distance shots, that's just long rebounds for the other team to get back in transition against you.
I think the lack of a true wing is hurting them because teams are putting that 6'5", and this was something R.J. Davis talked about post-game as well, is that, yeah, I'm getting 6'5", 6'6" guys stepping out on me, whereas last year you couldn't have that possibility where you could just switch, for example, a 6'1" guard onto Cormac Ryan or Harrison Ingram. You couldn't do that last year. This year you can. I think that's really what's impacting R.J. Davis, is that things are just more difficult for him just because of what's around him right now.
And that brings me to my final point, which is Hubert Davis, let the young kids eat. Ian Jackson and Drake Powell, they pop. They're different. You watch the game, you notice. Ian Jackson had a couple defensive possessions where you see the quickness, and it's impressive. And Alabama's no scrub athletically. They've got some backcourt members that can go. And Ian Jackson was in football we call it running the routes for the receiver. He was getting where they wanted to go before they got there, and he didn't know where they wanted to go. He was reacting to their movements. Drake Powell, 6'6" wing, he's been shooting it better as of late, had 4 of 6 from 3 in their most recent game against Michigan State prior to last night. He is, and I say when you can really shoot, you put an extra syllable, you call him a shooter. If you're really athletic, you get that athlete. He is an athlete. You make it extra syllables just to enjoy it a little bit more. He has springs in his shoes, and he knows how to use them. If the older guys, the more accomplished guys, the experienced guys aren't going to be efficient enough, let the young kids eat. Let them learn. I have a feeling you're going to like what happens once they get a little bit more experience. And you like what happens already. They're playing well. The last 2 games, they've been maybe your 2 best players. Just not enough usage. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Still plenty of time. Like I said, my patience is being tested, but I haven't failed the test yet. I'm not worried about RJ Davis. I'm just seeing a whole bunch of things that should probably make me worried about RJ Davis, but I'm resisting the urge.